Remember those old Godzilla films where the actors were in the costume, stomping around on set like they were these giant monsters? Yeah, it's a little cheesy in this day and age, but then, and you could argue even now, it created a genuine look. While advancements have been made in computer technology, they can and will never substitute for practical effects and costumes, which create a sense of realism. The human eye can tell when something's really there and when it's not. If you think kids can't notice a difference between CGI and practical costumes, let's look at this Simon Pegg quote. Simon Pegg was watching The Empire Strikes Back with his young daughter, and when Yoda came on the screen, she said, "He's real." Check out these clips from Power Rangers Dino Charge.
Tricerazord, power drill. Hammer punch. That really stings.
In the series, you can tell that there are stuntmen in the Megazord costume for the most part, and that's to be commended. But there are also moments when it's CGI. Computer-generated images can take you out of the moment, whether it's a few seconds or a few scenes. Big-time filmmakers like J.J. Abrams recognized the importance of having practical costumes when he was making Star Wars Episode 7. It created a more genuine look and feel than the all-exclusive CGI creatures George Lucas put in his prequel trilogy. The less you take your audience out of the moment, the more time the audience has to be invested. So, less of this.
Let's go for it. Red Lion, combine.
So if there are practical suits used in the Megazord battles, are the later series of Power Rangers facing another problem? Well, let's see how the latest seasons battle their monsters.
Dino Charge Megazord, Flamethrower! Stego Saber! Don't knock my fillings out! 3, 2, 1. Galactic Blast!
As the Rangers are getting ready to finish the villain, you spend a lot of time watching them prep, whether they're messing around with their swords or getting their guns ready. Sometimes simplicity is needed, minimalism. If the popular belief is that your audience has short attention spans, then edit out what you don't need. I mentioned before that you can't control how things were filmed in the Sentai clips you get from Japan, but you do have control over dialogue.
Time to take down this last monster!
The voiceover plays this scene like a cartoon or comic book. Nothing has to be said. That could have been edited out. The first episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers tries something similar.
This is amazing. I seem to know how to drive this thing.
Affirmative, I do too. It's almost like second nature to me.
Subsequent episodes didn't have any of that. Commentary really isn't needed. Let the moment play out. Going back for a second, a Megazord walking through a series of attacks unfazed isn't anything new. But it's a moment like that where a great score can do wonders and differentiate it from the pack. George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, once said that sound and music are 50% of the entertainment in a movie. That applies to television shows as well. Music can do a lot for whatever you're watching. It has the power to draw us into any moment. We're even willing to overlook the bad parts or even the cheesy parts if it has a catchy tune. And for a great, although cliche moment like tanking a series of energy blasts, well, see for yourself.
All right, Lokar, you're next. We call on the power of Titanus and the Ultra Sword. All right, guys, let's finish it.
Power Rangers music was, I dare say, edgy for a so-called kids show. It easily changed the mood. What kid didn't get excited when they heard the music swelling when the Power Rangers called their Zords or formed the Megazord? Nowadays, I can't tell the difference. A lot of the music in Power Rangers sounds generic. Even some of the earlier series that came after Mighty Morphin faced this similar problem. If the music is generic, some kids may not care because they're being entertained. But if you're trying to do more than entertain, if you're trying to suck your audience into the moment, you can't have a run-of-the-mill generic score. It's like if you play the Superman 78 or Batman 89 main themes, or even music from Star Wars. People recognize it, they're moved by it. It enhances the viewing experience that much more. In turn, the show rises above its competition and becomes memorable. Stay tuned for part 5.